the current the current state of YouTube kind of reminds me of the early days of hip hop. The current state of YouTube reminds me of the early days of hip hop in the 90s. Hip hop in the 90s. I know for a lot of you all, you weren't even born then. I know for a lot of you, you weren't even born then. So you wouldn't really even know what I'm talking about. But I'm about to get into it because I'm going to express to you from the standpoint of a 55-year-old Gen Xer who lived through the 90s, lived through the 80s and the 90s, and can give a perspective and say the current state of YouTube reminds me of the early days of hip hop, rap and hip hop. In the 80s, rap, that's really what it was called in the 80s, was rap. It really didn't kind of transform into hip hop until around the 90s. But in the 80s, rap was kind of a fad. Rap was kind of a fad. It was something that people did as a hobby. You know, if you could go out and battle rap with some of your friends on the block, on the corner, or at the club, that's what it was all about. You know, we're talking about the early days where KRS-One. KRS-One is a rap pioneer. We're talking about the early days. In the 80s, going into the 90s, those type of individuals, in a lot of ways, I would venture to say rap or hip hop to a certain extent was pure. It was pure then. So people were just doing it for the love of the art. They were doing it as a way to perform and express themselves. And as the genre expanded into the 90s, it became a powerful force in the realm of making money. Once record companies started taking rap seriously, and people started getting record deals and started making money from rap, which transformed into what we know today as hip hop, things started to change. Things started to change. Once rap was no longer a hobby or a novelty, things started to change. And in a lot of ways, it was like a feeding frenzy. So let me just kind of break this down to you. And as I talk about this, maybe you all will see some similarities. You all will see some similarities. Now, when I talk about YouTube, I'm really talking about, and I like to say it this way, this corner of the YouTube universe, this vlogger corner, because YouTube is huge. I mean, you got all types of stuff going on in YouTube, but this area of the YouTube universe with vloggers, content creators, I guess just about everybody's a content creator, but the vlogger section, you see where people are in some ways stealing other people's content. stealing other people's content, stealing other people's ideas, and, kind of stealing people's creativity. And it seems like it's condoned. It almost seems like it's condoned that, hey, you can just take somebody's title. Now it's good if you look here. Let's go with this. In the early 90s, it was all about sampling. It was all about sampling in the early 90s. Everybody was sampling music from the 80s and the 70s. I think they've said that James Brown, his music, was the most sampled music in hip-hop at one time. Everybody was using James Brown's melodies and beats to rap over. So for people to try to make a rap song where they could put on an album and sell through a record deal or a record company, they were, a lot of people called it stealing. Listen to this one. Back in the 90s, Vanilla Ice. Now, when it was melanated folks taking from each other, I'm just being straight up, y'all. I'm just being straight up. When melanated folks were taken from each other, there wasn't that big of an uproar. But when Vanilla Ice sampled David Bowie to make his song Ice Ice Baby, when he sampled David Bowie, all hell broke loose. I mean, it was worldwide news that Vanilla Ice had taken a rock legend. David Bowie was a rock legend, and the song Pressure, pushing down on me, pushing down on you, under pressure. I don't know the words to the song, but I know the melody. You all get it. Yeah. Doom 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 da da doom 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 da da doom 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 da da doom 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 doom. That right there set off a firestorm, and people start looking into taking other people's intellectual property and what they've worked for, and it kind of changed some things. But once again, we're still talking about hip hop. We're still talking about hip hop. Just imagine there's this art form. There's this art form, rap, where you rhyme over a beat to tell a story, and you have a certain flair. You have a certain flair about the way that you rap over a beat that you've made your own. You've worked on it. You try to set yourself apart from other people who are rapping. And you come out and you put your music out. It sounds different. It sounds unique. And then next thing you know, within a week or so, you hear other people's music sounding like yours. How are you going to feel about it? How are you going to feel about it? You using my story. That was my story. I was talking about my life. I was talking about what I've been through. Now you might have been through something similar, but you're sounding a whole lot like me. That would upset some people. And real talk. I'm giving some history here. Like I said, from the standpoint of a 55-year-old Gen Xer. And this is why, if you are a Gen Xer, this is why you need to have your assets on YouTube so you can be doing the same thing. Because a lot of these young kids, they don't know the history. They don't really have a foundation. Okay, and I believe it's not too late. But this is what happened that really brought violence to hip hop in the mid 90s. Tupac appeared to be mainly upset with Biggie because he felt that Biggie stole his rap style. Tupac was upset that Biggie stole his rap style. Just check it out. Now there were some things about Tupac, got shot and who shot you and all this kind of stuff. I'm not going down that hall, but you get my point. What I'm saying is, when someone comes up with something creative, they come up with an idea, whether it's in a song or in a painting or on YouTube, you've come up with that idea and you put it on YouTube, and then next thing you know, you see everybody looking like you. But you're not being given credit for being the person who came up with it first. You know what? As I'm talking, once again, I'm talking about rap history here, y'all. Rap and hip hop history. CL Smooth. Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Pete Rock and CL Smooth came out with a song talking about straighten it out. Straighten it out. Yeah, y'all. Straighten it out. And I believe what they were in that song, I haven't heard that song in a while. What they were talking about is how people were stealing their style, stealing their beats and their music. And they worked hard at it. They worked hard at creating something, and then as soon as it comes out, it gets some airplay, people are digging it. Next thing you know, you got crabs, that's what they call them. Crab A Negroes then stole your stuff, and now they then ran back, and now they making their albums, and it's coming out sounding just like yours. You all see the similarities now? Do you see the similarities of what I'm talking about? How the current state of YouTube, in a lot of ways, from my opinion, I'm just speaking from my opinion based on my knowledge and what I've been through, my experiences, the current state of YouTube looks like the early days of hip hop. The early days of hip hop. But it's interesting to me to see that in a lot of ways it's condoned. I guess in today's society, in today's generations, that's what's condoned. I'm gonna switch gears here for a minute, y'all. I want to put this chicken on. I just thought about it. I have this chicken seasoned. These are the seasonings right here. Got some Morton sea salt, Goya, basil, paprika, black pepper, and some Goya. And these are going to be, these chicken thighs are going to be a part of tonight's production of Extended Stay Gourmet. I'm going to be doing barbecue baked chicken thighs. And here's the chicken thighs already seasoned. I'm going to go ahead and put those in the pan. So stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned for Extended Stay Gourmet. This one is going to be, I make baked chicken thighs, barbecue chicken thighs. In the middle of me doing that video, I thought about, wait a minute, I gotta do those thighs. Okay, go ahead and get in there. And I'm going to put these on low for about 300. And put those on low for 300. Let them bake. I can put my seasonings back up. Yeah, y'all, so that's what I wanted to share with you all today. Just an observation. I got a part 2 to this video, so stay tuned for that. I got a part 2 where I talk about the similarities that I see. The similarities between the current state of YouTube and the early days of hip-hop in the 90s. If you like this video and you resonated with this video, hit the like button. If you have a comment, and I believe I'm going to have a good amount of comments on this video, so I welcome these comments. If you have a positive or constructive comment, leave it down below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I appreciate if you subscribe. It definitely helps the channel to grow. It's helped me get to where I am right now on YouTube, and I'm very grateful and appreciative. But you have a great day. Be blessed and be a blessing.